My name is John Humphrey, and I'm with the Rio Rejects. Brian, how you doing?
Great. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to talk to you. Forgive me for how I'm about to phrase this, but I dug the shit out of this. This was like
Nice.
a dream. I love a good left turn, and I'm also a huge horror fan, so this was like the perfect convergence. To kick things off, I'm curious, without giving anything away, there are certain moments in Werewolf by Night that certainly go surprisingly hard in terms of the horror elements, some of the gore gags, and watching an MCU joint that's both fun but also kind of surprising. I know you get leeway with black and white, but was there ever any resistance or any sort of fear that you would sort of get too close to the line in terms of that kind of stuff?
It's all for us. It's all about story, right? And one of the components of that is you're going in. Jack is going in with a group of monster hunters, the best in the world. They're probably not going to sit around and chat. They're probably going to pick up their weapons and go after each other. We wanted you to feel that. So when you go into that garden and you're getting chased, you should be scared. You should be worried. Who's going to survive? Who's not going to survive? What's going to happen? What are the consequences? And so we, from the story perspective, always wanted to lean into that and to sort of show that on screen. Otherwise, you don't want any of those characters to feel toothless. You want them to feel big and scary and formidable. And then as you mentioned the black and white, we love those horror movies from the 30s and 40s. And so when we said, we'll do it, we're like, we'll go all the way. Right? Make it black and white, put a little film grain on there. There's some real changes, the cigarette burns in the corners, things like that you'll notice, upon a rewatch probably, that felt like, make it feel like this is a horror movie that someone found in a canister, in, I don't know, the UCLA Film Archive or something like that. Like, bring this out. Let's see what it is.
That's so cool. See, yeah, I think you guys really nailed that aesthetic, and you managed to do so in a way that feels very much like a love letter to those classic horror movies, but that's also like surprisingly endearing. And I guess my next question would be, you obviously have a lot of experience with Marvel and the MCU, but this is a step in, a step upward, or at least a step to a new role in being co-executive producer. What was it about this particular project? Is it to do with the genre, or was it more just this was the right time?
It's a little bit of everything. I will say that I really like the Mummy from 1932. Like, I like a lot of those old. We watched The Wolfman, of course, for this, but Creature from the Black Lagoon, which was a little later. But there's something about the real people in supernatural or mystical situations that's very interesting to me, because it's grounded, but they're dealing with something that they're completely outside their comfort zone. And for this one, it just felt like, we can depart. We're making the first special presentation. It can be shorter. It can just be this like sort of appetizer of what's to come with monsters in the MCU. And it feels like it was an exciting project to jump into.
Of course. I guess finally then, can we maybe expect to see more Werewolf by Night in the future? There's
I would love it. I will say that I can't reveal anything, but when you get to the end of the special, my whole thing is, I don't know that Jack knows what he's going to do next. Any of these characters are just thankful they made it through that night, and without spoiling, it's like anyone that made it, I don't know where they're going. I don't know what's happening next.
That's a good. I like that sense of mystery and possibility, and just to meet Jack and also Ted, like Man-Thing and Werewolf by Night both together, like, it's such a joy, and I can't wait for people to see this special. So thank you for taking the time out to talk with me. Like I said, I really love this.
I'm so glad to hear it.
So I really appreciate your time. Thank you for.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.